We're in Thailand with Global Blockchain Show, and today I'm with Rodney from HackVC. Rodney, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Yeah, maybe just before we get started, all views are my own, no investment advice, but yeah, really excited to be on.
Yeah, of course. I'm so excited to hear your opinion. There's been so much going on this year. What's an area in the industry that you've been particularly interested in?
Yeah, totally. We've been doing a ton in like either crypto AI or Web3 infra a lot as of recent. In the past, we do a lot of DeFi too. We still look at that sort of stuff, but yeah, mostly crypto AI and infra these days.
You're still looking at infra. Interesting, because we had a few guests that have been saying that infra is kind of like, losing its breath. I do see it as obviously part of the whole structure of the industry. What is it that you're particularly looking at?
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's tons of different, different kind of like opportunities to look at, I guess, as a VC fund when you're looking at infra even today. Like personally, the stuff that I'm excited about is more around like ZK, for example. Like Justin Drake had his talk 2 days ago, and it's pretty interesting to see his ideas around a lot of different things there. And it looks like ZK is at the forefront of a lot of scaling, for example. Separate to that, all sorts of other like all tell one ecosystems, like for example, Movement or Berachain. All these sorts of blockchains coming to market soon. Yeah, they're powered by a ton of middleware or there's a ton of different components within these stacks. Yeah, so always different stuff to support founders with, and yeah, to get plugged into the ecosystem.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And within AI, what exactly have you been looking at?
Yeah, maybe I'll just give the high level for how we think about AI. Overall, I guess a lot of people associate crypto AI with like the stuff that is very like front and center, like agents or things like this. And yeah, maybe that's like one component of it, but we see crypto AI as a whole, like kind of giving the open source AI community in Web2 the infrastructure to organize themselves and incentivize themselves around pushing forward open source software in the world of Web2 AI. Because Web2 AI, for example, is like, you have OpenAI, you have Anthropic, you have a whole suite of these like large centralized businesses that, have the majority of compute and the majority of like frontier LLM data or design. And the Web2 open source software community competing with these guys, they don't have as much, they're getting stronger every day, but overall, I feel like the best crypto AI companies are ones that build around this problem set of empowering the open source software community in Web2. So yeah, huge supporters, huge fans. All the deals we did in crypto AI are public on our website. Yeah, love the category.
Is there like a particular aspect of it that you personally like?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cutting edge stuff. Yeah, AI is slowly taking over the world, taking over search already. It's something that hasn't been disrupted since like early 2000.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff you'll see being built by builders today, like in a vacuum. What does the pre-seed founder look like today? It's one that's trying a lot of new things. It's one that's trying to figure out how to find margin or monetization within an industry that has like not too much defensibility in a way too. So yeah, like defensibility within open source software, I think is like something I'm super passionate about. And yeah, I love to see these like today's founder profile battle with this within this frontier. So I'm sure most of these ideas, maybe won't stick, but the ones that do stick, they have, a whole 2000 or year 1998, 1999, year 2000 style opportunity of catching up with the frontier and setting the frontier. So really interesting to take a look.
It's really exciting. You mentioned that you used to look at DeFi, but not as much anymore. What's the reason?
Oh, well, we still do look, but in a way we look at everything that comes to us really. But I would just say that today's like the founders that are approaching us, like a lot less of them work within the category of DeFi as well. So it's not as much as like our focus has shifted. It's just the most passionate builders are building around different frontiers from what we've seen as of recent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything within the DeFi that has been front of mind?
I mean, it's a big week for DeFi in the market. We had things like like repriced pretty significantly. Things like Drift protocol or Cal protocol had like 200-300% weeks. It's really crazy to see. I guess it's just signs that a lot of categories in crypto are going to reprice on the market side of things. But yeah, as a seed fund, you always see how this has a direct impact on the things that founders get excited about building with long-term perspectives too. So we're definitely seeing a big inflow. I guess as the market's coming up, but now that categories like DeFi are repricing, I'm sure that we're going to have a ton of DeFi founders knocking at the door again, and we're still super excited about it. Don't get me wrong, stablecoins, for example, are maybe like the part of crypto that I'm most passionate about, more than anything. And I would argue the part of crypto that has found the most product market fit. Businesses like Tether, for example. I think not a lot of people pay attention to the revenues these companies make, but it's definitely extremely distributed, extremely adopted, and pretty significant, like in the global scale.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive to see. You've been in the industry for a while. When did you join?
Got into crypto in early 2017.
It's a good time.
Totally. It's been a crazy roller coaster and lots of different cycles.
What were you doing in the beginning?
So in the very beginning, I was in third year of college, and my friend that was sitting next to me, he wanted to build one of the first DeFi protocols on Ethereum back then. And he was telling me about Ethereum, and I was like, man, like, what is this stuff? Like, this sounds crazy.
Yeah.
I think it was around like 100 Canadian dollars or maybe a little bit less than that back then. At the time I had a business that was doing well in interior design, and I decided to angel invest into his company and angel invested into a few different businesses, and that kind of got me started in the industry. And in 2018, I moved to South Korea and worked with at the time the most prominent L1 there, helping them with go to market, finding ecosystem projects, and also ran nodes on random DPoS networks. Had a little bit of a prop fund. And then come 2019, 2020, I ended up moving to San Francisco and I joined AngelList. I ended up working with Naval to help him deploy his capital and all sorts of other people too, actually. At the time, I think I worked with over 100 different investors that are looking to invest in startups. And I helped with setting up the first rolling fund at AngelList, and I really enjoyed that ecosystem and that community. I felt like it was a huge help in giving me a more global perspective on venture and startups and tech, and meeting a lot of the most interesting people in San Francisco. And then ended up leaving that to join my roommate's health insurance startup that just got into Y Combinator, as you do in San Francisco. And we ended up doing really well. I think you could check their LinkedIn or whatever for the raise announcements, but really successful business, raised a ton of money so far. I ended up leaving because at the time I convinced my friends to build the first app on Matic, which turned into Polygon eventually, and I invested in the liquid token there, and at the time, and a lot of other things started to do really well. And I decided to go more back, and all my free time I was still spending in crypto. I would say it was always been my passion, and seeing it play through. I mean, career-wise at the time it was hard to stay in crypto, but afterwards I stayed in the industry and kept building around. And I met Alex Pack after he left Dragonfly. He was one of the two co-founders of Dragonfly at the time, and we ended up putting together what eventually became Hack VC almost 4 years ago.
How many people are working with you?
These days, I think around 15, 20 people.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty decent.
Yeah, totally.
You travel a ton.
I'm actually I'm fully nomadic, so I spend a lot of time also in UAE, but for the most part fully nomadic.
Which region, which market do you find most exciting?
As a country, or as a builder community?
Well, not even builder, just the crypto scene in general.
Yeah. I mean, New York City is always going to be number one in terms of the crypto builder scene right now. I think even more so than San Francisco. I mean, San Francisco has definitely bounced back quite a lot since 2020, and I definitely think there's a pretty active scene out there. But I just think that people in New York are more social, and there's a higher velocity to the pace there. And so yeah, we definitely see a lot of like seed or Series A funded founders typically immigrate from the Bay Area to New York. Um, and yeah, this has been like kind of the move in Web2 tech. I mean, I think never before have we seen this many founders in New York in general. So really exciting to see. But yeah, like the rest of the world is also huge. I think the country I'm personally most excited about is UAE. I think they're the most progressive country in terms of their adoption towards crypto, and that's why I ended up moving there. There's a lot of other countries I was considering at the time too. I mean, I've looked at the crypto scene out in Hong Kong as well. Huge fan of Hong Kong, and I think that the progress they've made is great too.
Yeah.
But UAE was just so progressive that it was hard not to say yes. Yeah.
What's some of the things you found out when you were like analyzing?
For UAE?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that stands out the most to me is that there isn't a ton of bureaucracy. So when people have big ideas and big visions, that's the stuff everybody gets excited about, and over there it can actually happen pretty quickly. And yeah, separate to that, I think some of the initiatives they have still in the oven are going to be some of the biggest blockchain related projects in the world. So really excited for things to come.
How do you feel about the setup of the like L1s, L2s? Like there's been a lot of L2s recently. And I imagine there's going to be like a cleanse at some point, or like not all of it is going to last. I mean, there's a lot of optimism for next year, so perhaps not so soon.
Yeah.
But how do you see it playing out? Like your personal...
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so personally, totally agree with the sentiment. There's a ton of block space, and it comes in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. I think that overall, there's ways that every single ecosystem looks to differentiate itself, and I think that the differentiations that tend to be the stickiest are ones that involve a technological frontier, or like some sort of like unique benefit for why the ecosystem should aggregate here, or how it naturally ends up accumulating here, because of the benefits involved of using your ecosystem as well. So that's also kind of the nature of infra investing. It's like looking deep into different tech stacks and seeing what's missing and what's a natural fit without nothing in Web3 is about selling. These platforms have like almost zero switching costs. Users can evaporate overnight, and the way that a lot of these ecosystems have these users today is because they're providing a valuable frontier that the market appreciates and chooses to adopt at the time. Of course, there's Web3 incentives and all this stuff, but for the most part, it's like technological frontiers that hold users. And apart from that, there's other protocols that are working on other open source defensibility mechanisms. Like, for example, Berachain would argue economies of scale may be something that would make them a secure ecosystem in comparison to most others. But if you look at like Eclipse, for example, SVM on Ethereum, I think that like there's tons of value props to this sort of mechanism design. I think like the stuff Mega ETH is building is extremely exciting. Make the sequencer bigger and stronger. Let's try. And so I think overall there isn't a ton of teams building undifferentiated L2s, I would argue. And so now that things in the Ethereum world are looking like they're changing faster and faster these days. Hopefully everyone can get behind a bigger vision and push forward something really meaningful.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff, and sometimes it's relying also in bringing awareness to it. This industry seems to run on vibes, and everyone knows that community is key. Do you look at this as a key parameter when you're analyzing
vibes?
Vibes, yeah. I had an investor saying that, I asked like, what's one of the things you look at? He said it's hard to put in a word with vibes.
I think maybe not just like fully not fully vibes.
I
would say we're institutional, but I think a better way to put it is like a value prop for users, in that like users being applications, users being end user, like consumer. It's something that's forced. It's not a forced action that these ecosystem participants are taking. I think that's more about the vibes than most other stuff. I think, yeah.
I think, yeah. When people say vibes, they're really
Yeah.
thinking about like sentiment and the aura around the brand and the connection with the community. I find it really fascinating. I mean, if you get out of crypto and you look at how an AI company might grow, there's no one is talking about the vibes. No one is going to conferences at this rate. Like, there's people don't really get together as much. Why is that? Why is crypto like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think like, yeah, I've being in the industry for a while. I think a big part of it is like the hyper financialization of, of the industry. I think that, everyone has like mechanisms to find some forms of, like a vested interest or a purpose in the space. And I think also, as a result, crypto has turned into one of the most, I guess, active open source software communities in the world. I think that I also think it was such a niche before, and so the way it started, it kind of built its own network effect.
Yeah.
And now that it's becoming mainstream, I actually have no idea what's going to happen in a way. Like, what happens when ETH Denver has 250,000 participants? What happens to hotels and a lot of this other stuff? Vitalik talks a lot about like Zuzalu or these network states, and like with crypto becoming so mainstream, it's possible that that gradually evolves from network states to city planning.
Yeah.
Things are getting a lot more exciting. I think everyone is realizing like Ethereum is a very useful trust computer. Really excited to see what the next few years have in store.
ETH Denver. I mean, I talked with the founder, and actually John Poller. He said that they're actually talking with the government there, because obviously it's benefiting the city so much that everyone goes there. And it's really fascinating, even with the network states. It's a really interesting subject, because if we're detaching, money from governments, we can pretty much set up a city anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see the overlap. How do you see the I mean, say like, if you fast forward a few years, how do you see this transitioning from where we are to that, and what would that look like?
Yeah. Well, I think it would involve a lot of the right people getting behind a really big vision, and like pushing forward something that becomes meaningful to everyone else in a vacuum. Because even things like Zuzalu don't have a public and like concise vision. And I think that a lot of people are trying a lot of different things, and I think that as for what's going to happen related to city planning and how does crypto integrate with city planning in general, I think that's going to probably either kickstart from people like Balaji, who are working with the government, or working in Singapore in general to launch his own network state, or it's going to come from people like getting behind some sort of like Web3 network state ethos, like Praxis, for example, which had a big announcement this year. I'm really excited. I don't think that this space exactly has a category leader. I think that's the exciting part of this too. I think that anyone could move into the network state, or like connecting like city planning with crypto and crypto events, even still today. But it'd be exciting to see what happens with like Token 2049, ETH Denver, ECC, and everyone else when these things turn into 200,000 people.
Yeah, that would be great for everyone.
Maybe.
Well, it's good to see new cities, actually. In 2017, when you joined, there was hardly more than one category. I think the categories would have been like Bitcoin, Ethereum, pretty much. And a couple of years back, let's say 2020, there was NFTs, DeFi. It's probably like around like 5 categories at most. Today, we have a bunch of categories, and it feels like they just it's like smaller ecosystems within a larger ecosystem, let's say. And we see this play out physically throughout conferences on the side event scene. So if you want to find certain people, you just go to that type of event, sort of like this realm of different agglomerations of people and projects. I see that this is probably the path where it might start creating more division. So not everyone would fly, let's say, to the same city for a conference. It depends what the conference is themed about. So less generalist, efforts. I wonder, like, so if that plays out, will you still be like, what area would you say you would fall into as a, maybe also as a user?
Like for the conference circuit.
Conference circuit, yes, of course, and just in general, like there's obviously like a ton of categories in the industry.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Like personally.
yeah,
Oof. I guess, yeah, I like infra, I think the most, and yeah, would love to keep operating in the space. And as for like, yeah, where I think that community lives for the most part, I think it's going to continue to live all over the world. And I don't know if I'll ever live in one place. Yeah.
you'll always be moving around.
I might have to. I don't mind. I love I love helping people put together the big visions they have in mind. And I don't think they'll ever all come from the same place.
That's interesting. And in terms of investment, do you think that I mean, it might be that infra ends up like splitting as well. Maybe already does. Do you look at a specific segment within infra?
Really everything. Yeah.
Okay. So it might start breaking down into different segments, I imagine.
Well, we end up forming theses on, different subcategories of infra. And so when you research like 20, you end up forming a thesis around that sort of market. Or when you look at, a lot of the big announcements or the EIPs that get posted, or all sorts of stuff happening in the ecosystem, and have some conversations with, the people really at the frontier of some of these categories, or the problems that they're having. I think that's when you get more empathy for what gets you excited specifically. But as for the flow that comes in, I mean, it's all sorts of stuff for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any hot takes for next year?
Hot takes for next year.
Think about it a little bit.
I think next year, BTC 250K.
Okay.
And let's see.
Anything that might no longer have hype, like it's gonna lose hype.
I think literally everything will gain hype.
Everything will gain hype.
Yeah.
Is there something that's gonna emerge that is not there yet?
For next year specifically.
Yeah.
Things that will emerge, I think we're gonna have more of these. We're gonna have AI play a larger role within the applications that we end up interacting with, the content that we read. Yeah, really, like every component of our life, including like, we're actually going to have a pretty interesting year in that I think a lot of the ways that people interact with search, which is like a significant chunk of people's like internet usage, will change a lot too. And so, like probably powered by AI too. So AI will be like definitely front and center in people's lives more so than today too. Yeah.
Had someone saying we're gonna have decentralized AI summer, so I like the sound of it. Sounds great.
Yeah, totally.
Anything that that you see happening in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years, I think the amount of stablecoins in crypto or on blockchain specifically will probably be more than like 5 to 10 trillion in global money, not only probably US dollars at that point. DeFi will be a lot more regulated. There'll be like norms and standards that different countries agree to. And as a result, there might be more of an ability to separate things like money and nation. So really interesting to see what happens within that frontier. And within 5 years, I mean, we're going to be able to ask our phone for like a hamburger and it's going to be able to get delivered in 10 minutes. That's the reality we're moving into. I think tech is there's a lot of tech singularities that will come together to improve people's lives at a pace that's faster than ever before. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I could see that happening. For everyone watching, where can they find you?
Yeah, I'm 0x Rodney on Twitter. Yeah.
Rodney, thank you.